differently, abled differently.
Welcome back, and you're watching Abled Differently. Denial is one of the stages toward acceptance. Caroline Chege is using her experience as a caregiver to help others. Take a look at that story.
Many a times, people find themselves in denial when things go contrary to their expectations. But what next? We speak to Carol Chege, a mother, wife, and cerebral palsy champion who is using her story to be a blessing to other caregivers.
Precious birth was difficult because we faced negligence at the hospital. Unfortunately, because that was the right place for us to be. Like the doctors there should have taken good care of us, but somehow they just decided to let us go through the negligence. But we thank God because we made it. It was a very tough experience whereby we almost lost Precious. Even myself, I was in a difficult condition. So what happened, Precious was a big baby from delivery, and they were supposed to take me for a CS immediately. But what they said, because I had given birth to other two kids, Precious is our third born, so they assumed that Precious was able to to go through the birth canal. But it never came to pass. It never happened because she was big. So what happened, she got stuck at the birth canal, and so I was taken for an emergency CS, whereby I had even to sign for myself, even though I was at the hospital with my husband. It was so bad. So I was taken for the emergency CS. Precious was born through the CS, and nobody ever told us, the doctors never told us that Precious got a condition. So we stayed there for a week, whereby still she went through hard times. Like we still almost lost her in the nursery, because I remember at some point I used to go there, express milk for her, and she used to feed through the tube.
While children with disability are dependent on parents and caregivers depending on the severity of the condition, Carol was not aware that her daughter had cerebral palsy.
2 years later is when we got to know that she has CP through a therapist. When I had taken her to, for her therapy sessions, because I was being referred to, to take her to a neuro. And then I noted that they had written something like, please attend this baby, she's a CP case. It wasn't easy initially, because after now realizing that our Precious had CP and not the initial condition that we were told, I went into a stage that is called denial. Denial is very tough. It's a point whereby you even feel like, like committing suicide. You and the child, you are like, no, this life is too hard. There's no support. The stigma is there in the community. Just the other day, I discovered it was good. It was good that they never told us at that point.
Oh.
It would have been bad. Yes, it would have been bad.
Why?
That's when you get mothers get depression, because after all that difficult birth, and then you are told like your baby isn't well, like you have this condition for the rest of your life. That's when people get depression, or you hear somebody has just done something bad. No, after now the doctor told us Precious will be different, and I don't, interact so much asking other parents how are their children comparing with Precious. So we just decided just to cut off totally with them, so that I could focus more with Precious, and I don't get that pressure of like, why is my baby not growing like others.
Instead of wallowing in self-pity as many would, Carol braced herself for the better through acceptance, which in return birthed a foundation in honor of her daughter, Precious.
When I was going through the denial, that stage, I never got anyone to encourage me. I never got anyone to tell me, Mama, Precious is okay. Even though Precious has this condition, she's still a blessing. So I decided this thing whereby you say kujitoma cards. I was like, now I'll be that person. Whereby I began creating the awareness, CP awareness, telling people there's a condition like this. It comes because of 1, 2, 3 things. I became very vocal. Kujitoma cards. Like I am out there, let people know about it. And then I like attending the forums for disability. I like the speakers there. at least if I attend one, I'll not come out there empty. Or the way I went, I'll get something up. I'll just get something from the speaker. At some point, the parents that I used to interact with, even either they were parents of CP children or caregivers or relatives, so they were like, "Oh, Precious, why can't you open for us a WhatsApp group? At least a place whereby we can be, chatting, talking instead of Facebook. Facebook is open, and there, there are all kind of people. Yeah, there are critics who are there, maybe who think we are there to, just ask for money or ask for support or such. So I was like, yeah, I think this is a good idea. So in honor of Precious, and so that I can achieve my dream, I registered a foundation that is called Precious Blessings Cerebral Palsy Foundation, in honor of Precious. Yeah, I couldn't have gotten a better name rather than that. Because of her, just honoring her, and then she's a baby that we love, and then she happened to be our CP book. We learn from her. Most of the things that I know about CP is because of her. Yeah, so we treasure her, we love her, and then we would also want other children to benefit from her or through her.
As for challenges, they are inevitable, more so for persons with disabilities.
We are experiencing some difficulties, like even getting a school for her. It's hard. We live in a place near Buruburu, but she schools in Parklands Primary, because that is the only place whereby we got a school of her kind, a school that can accommodate a CP child. The challenge, we are still facing challenges because of like a transport. Like for this whole time, she has not reported to school, and yet she's a student. So the other challenge that we are facing as parents of CP children, we are like almost forced to relocate near the school. Yeah, and actually we are considering that. But if the government can consider like putting a special unit in every primary school, put a special unit for the children that are there, that one will really help us, such that we call it inclusion, such that we are included in every place. Everything that is used for, for things that are used by special people, they should think about us. The unconversants, the diapers, the assistive devices. Oh my goodness. These are other things that are very expensive. I'm telling you, to get a wheelchair, it takes a miracle. I'm telling you.
For Carol, Precious, her daughter, is a blessing in disguise, and she is grateful for family support, especially from her husband.
One day I remember I prayed. I told God, there must be another side of Precious. It doesn't, because babies are blessed.